Hey yo, salute to all my subscribers. Special shout out to everybody else passing through. YouTube, what's good? Alright, let's get straight into it. So, typically, I start my day around 4:30. 4:30 every morning. First thing I do, I go to my news notifications. Because, I tell y'all all the time, it's important that we, as individuals, as well as a culture, as well as a people, that we keep abreast of the changes of the world around us. So while I'm scrolling through all the top news stories, articles, and whatever could potentially apply to my life, or just to see what stupid shit Trump is doing now. So as I'm scrolling through the different news stories for the day, I come across this article on Fox News about how Fabolous was indicted on felony domestic violence charges, and this is stemming from the incident that happened several months back when the video hit social media that led to the claims and the allegations of Fab putting hands on Emily B. Now, back at that time, I believe I did a blog, and that may have even led me to do an episode on my podcast talking about domestic violence. And I remember shortly after the video came out, and then all the claims of, whatever alleged abuse or incidents that would go on through, with Emily and Fab's relationship. I remember Emily getting a lot of flack when it came out that she, went back with Fab and kept the relationship going. So when I saw this news article talking about the indictment and the pending trial, which I'll be following, as it gets closer, I started thinking, as people start to find out more about this and this really starts to hit the social media platforms, Emily's probably going to get dragged again for being in a relationship still. Because, as people, since we can't figure out our own shit, what better to do than talk shit about the celebrities who we follow in regards to their shit? So I'm doing this blog for one simple reason. And this blog has nothing to do with the legal ramifications behind, the whole situation. Let that shit play out in court. Let what happens in the courtroom, the legal justice system, let that shit play out the way it will. I got no issues with that. My only problem is to the potential people who, again, like to drag individuals for the things that they tolerate in their relationship. I'll say this when it comes to not just domestic violence in relationships, not just, situations where people, male or female, get into situations, become emotional, become angry, and, they let those things lead them to act out in ways that might not be desirable or might not be safe for the other person in that relationship. I want to emphasize male or female, because I don't subscribe, never have subscribed to the narrative that domestic violence and physical assault only happens to women in relationships, because it doesn't. There's plenty of men out here who suffer from the same thing. But past that, I want to remind y'all that whatever goes on within the confines of a relationship, whether that relationship is public or private, whether that relationship is between two celebrities who we follow, or your neighbors around the corner or across the street, or you and your partner behind your front door. No matter what transpires throughout the course of a relationship, it's always up to those two individuals how they want to work those situations out. And I always say that regardless of who has what to say about what somebody else is choosing to tolerate in their relationship, even in spite of the things that they know within themselves, they're probably tolerating things that are probably just as bad to other people in their own relationship. At the end of the day, what you choose to put up with is what you choose to put up with. I will never fault anybody who leaves a relationship for a reason that they feel justifies them leaving. And I will never talk shit about anybody who chooses to stay in a relationship, even if the reasons that they should be leaving would be reasons that would cause me to leave. Because it's not my relationship. It has nothing to do with me. At the end of the day, we as consenting adults, we as individuals, choose what our tolerance levels are. And when it comes to tolerance levels, you're never gonna be able to break free of any relationship, whatever that relationship may be, friendship, sibling relationship, um, you know, mother, son, daughter relationship, what have you, romantic relationship. You're never going to be able to break free of any relationship until your tolerance level is reached in that situation. And what do we see when people try to do that prematurely? You go back. And that's why we see so many couples that are off and on, off and on. Because I don't even recommend people try to leave a relationship until you're sure within yourselves that you've reached that tolerance level. So as this story, starts to take over social media platforms again, people start talking about it, people start talking their shit about what's going to potentially happen, whether or not Emily's going to be a witness or want to drop charges, whether or not the state will pick up whatever happens, because an indictment just means now the prosecutor can go to trial with whatever those charges, that were presented to that grand jury. I just want to remind y'all, keep in mind that in any relationship, there are multiple lifelines to a relationship. There are multiple reasons for why people get into relationships, and there are multiple reasons why people stay in those relationships, even when certain things transpire that will cause that relationship to seem like it's no longer a healthy relationship. So I'm gonna follow the story closely. Let me know what y'all think about this indictment. Do y'all think that Fab is gonna be ultimately found guilty or plead out, or charges are going to be dropped or dismissed because Emily may not want to testify? Let me know what y'all think. It's all speculation, but I got nothing else to do right now at 2 in the morning, so I'm here for it. Anyway, let me see. I got another block coming. Some interesting news out of San Francisco, and that block should be coming shortly. Until then, though, let me know what y'all think about this one. Remember, I don't pretend to know everything. I just know what I know, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace and love.